Alright guys, in this one I'm going to do something a little bit different because what I want to know from you guys is, do houseplants go alongside fish? So are a lot of fish keepers into their houseplants? So it's something that's very new to me, but I'm absolutely obsessed with it right now. So in this video, I am going to show you every plant that I have in my fish room, in my house, and in my fish tanks. So let's get right into it. So I've just been, so I'm doing maintenance in the fish room basically, and I'm just checking my pothos, looking for dead leaves. I mean, it's not doing too bad. This is just one of my golden ivy pothoses that I've got growing in a fish tank. And this is what started my journey in keeping plants. So I started to grow the pothos in the fish tank. Obviously, you know, we get the roots in there, and the idea was to eat nitrates, but kind of liked it, got into it and started growing them in my other tanks. So this is quite, you know, this was the one that I started off with, and I was taking cuttings off this, so I propagated it, put them in other tanks, and yeah, it's doing really well. My fish tanks do well with these in. They don't get, I've noticed that the roots don't get mega bushy in my fish tanks, and the growth isn't the fastest, but that's just the way it is, and I'm okay with that. And then some of you will remember I went over to Aquatics, and Alan at Aquatics gave me a cutting of Monstera adansonii, which took a while, if I'm honest, to take off in the tank, but as you can see now, it started to give me new leaves, and there's 3 new leaves there. And there's some coming through, there's one there, there's one there. So it's starting, it's took a while to hit off, but it's fine now, guys. I need to probably get it climbing. These plants like to climb, so does the pothos. So I'll probably get it up on against the back wall, get it climbing. So yeah, again, another one it has rooted. As you can see there, it's rooted in the tank, but again, it's not the quickest growing plants for me in my water. But again, my GH is really low, my KH is really low, so that's probably a factor. And then if you guys remember, I set up this planter tank. So this was a tank that I wanted to basically learn how to grow plants in, and it's doing quite well. This is my Pygmy Corydorus tank, and there's loads of bladder snails. I've actually just been cleaning this because I'm doing a water change on it. There is some Amazon swords, which you can see the Pygmy Corydorus down there. So basically a lot of the plants that I bought in this tank died off and are all growing back. So there's that water wisteria on the left, that one there is absolutely amazing. That I bought it was quite stringy and long, it then died off and it's just come back nice and bushy. I think I've got a couple of Amazon swords that died off and have grown back. There's some crypts in there, and there's some vallis. Now again, I'll say it again, plants don't grow quickly in my tanks. Probably the low GH, and there's other factors as well. Maybe not enough nitrates, you know. Do I feed my fish? I don't feed my fish as much as other people. But yeah, anyway, this growing plants in fish tanks led to me keeping houseplants. So I'm going to go and show you my massive collection of houseplants. So this is what my fish room looks like nowadays, guys. I've got soil because I took a plant out of a pot. That there is a succulent plant. I am into my succulents. I actually went out and bought a book about succulents, so massively geeking out on that. One thing about me, guys, is if I get into something and I want to learn about it, I am going to go down a rabbit hole with it, and I'm going to go and learn about it, if that makes sense. So succulents is the thing that I'm reading about right now. This is my aloe vera plant. Everyone's got to have an aloe vera plant, haven't they? And I've also been looking into using the aloe vera in here to maybe make some cream for Joe. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment, guys. And when I say a rabbit hole, I mean a rabbit hole. I have spent hours and hours learning about houseplants. Some more succulents. This Awarthia here is very, very nice. They're both Awarthias. This was a cutting of a Monstera type constellation that someone gave me. It didn't start off very well, so I had to basically try and save it, and it seems to be doing okay. Check this out. I'm going to show you this. This was something that I got not long ago, and this is another same. It's a Monstera type constellation. It's a baby. Obviously this will grow with fenestrations, and it's going to be coming. This is my dream plant, along with another one which I'll show you in a bit. So we've got that one there, and like I say, this I think this may be an elbow. It was given to me as a Thai constellation, but it might be an elbow. Then we have got this unbelievable pothos golden ivy. Is it golden ivy, green ivy growing up this moss pole? Check out the size of this leaf. I'll just put my hand there. Basically with pothos, when it grows higher, the leaves get bigger. And actually, this is not doing great, this leaf, but check this out. It's growing with fenestrations. That's a good sign, but the crispy edges is not. This plant can handle a lower light. It's in a corner of the fish room, but we'll see how that goes. I'm happy with the fenestrations, obviously. Check that out, but the crusty edges are not. I'm not happy with. That is a beautiful plant. I had to get that when I saw it. How stunning is that? Lovely. And then I've got all these as well. So there's quite a few plants in the fish room accumulating. So we've got our Monstera adansonii growing up the moss pole. This is an areca palm. A lot of these plants, guys, this one especially, air purifiers. They basically take toxins out of the air. This is my diva plant. This is my 10-half blue Burl Marxii, sorry. It's a prayer plant, so basically at night these leaves will close as though it's praying. It's a fishbone plant because they say that the pattern on the leaves is like a fishbones. I have got new leaf growing there, so it's doing all right, but this is a diva plant. This, I never know what I'm going to get with this plant, and I think for anyone that knows calatheas, which are quite hard to keep, these are like them because they're prayer plants, but every day is something. I can come in here one day and they could all be drooping. There's a bit of drooping now, but the plant's okay. I've come to learn that, you know what, we're getting new growth. The plant looks okay. I've learned that this plant will do whatever it wants. So it kind of is one of my favourites because of the personality. This is a peperomia. This is a stunning plant. Spider plant. We've also got another. This is a peperomia as well. Couple of young plants there. We've got the satin pothos. I can't quite remember the name of that one. String of beads. Then we've got a young Monstera, and when I go and show you my other Monstera in a minute, I'll tell you why I bought this one. Then we've got this is just some of the pothos that I propagated myself. This is just a mix and match which I've just planted. And then we've got the rubber plant. So this is a Ficus elastica. You have to polish your plants, guys. So I've got a glove, to be fair, that I do it with because they get dusty, and if you don't polish and take the dust off, they don't photosynthesize. So that one there is a new leaf that came last week, and as you can see, we're getting another new leaf again. So this will grow quite tall up that wall. I love the rubber plants, guys. Anyway, let me get you out into the house and show you what we've got going on in the house. So this is another ficus. This is another rubber plant. This is a tendancy, and again, we've had new leaves growing. I actually told Jo about two plants that I wanted, and she knows nothing about plants. She's actually like, she just looks at me like, you're obsessive, you've got an obsession. I've grown this plant collection in a space of over 10 months, but a lot of it over the last 2 months, if I'm honest. I get obsessive, guys. It's who I am. You know, my brain is obsessive. I get into something, I get obsessed with it. I go and buy loads of it. I go and learn loads about it. If you could see the amount of YouTube hours and reading that I've done online and in books on plants, you'd be very shocked, honestly, guys, because sometimes some people might think it's a little bit unhealthy, but I get off on it, so I don't care. So yeah, anyway, where was I? This is the Ficus tendancy, a rubber plant. I got this from B&Q, so for anybody that is in the UK will know that, but from the States, I think it's like a Lowe's, I don't know, something like that, maybe a Target, I'm not sure. But I did notice that they're getting brown edging on that leaf, and that could be a sign of underwatering when it gets brown on the edges. So maybe they weren't watering it in B&Q, but I make sure it's watered. Obviously with your plants, guys, you've got to make sure that you don't overwater them or underwatering. You've got to get it right. So I have a water meter. So I'll show you that water meter in a minute. In fact, I'll show it you now. So I just realised I was calling it a water meter. It's a moisture meter. And basically you just put it into your soil and it tells you whether the soil is wet, moist or dry. And obviously when it's dry, you want to be watering it, but it's not as simple as that either, you know. Each plant's different, you know. Some, like the succulents, need to really dry out, some only need to dry out a bit. So I've got some alocasias which are upstairs, and if I remember I will show you, they're different, so each plant's different. But what I would say, guys, is I know I'm talking about getting obsessed, going out buying, but I always learn as much as I can about that plant before I buy it. Anyway, this massive peace lily was a gift given to me by my niece. So my niece, I went over to her house because she wanted to set a fish tank up. So I went over, took her out, we got a fish tank, we got some fish, took some cycle media over for her to set it up. And as a thank you, she bought me this big peace lily, because when I was in the garden centre having my lunch, I said to her, that's a nice peace lily. And it was a tenner, so 10 English pounds. So a bargain. So I went away. Next thing, she brought it over, she'd bought it me. So that's amazing. This bloom is quite big, size of that. Thing with these, I mean, it's a bit floppy, but the thing with these blooms is they actually don't last that long and they die off, but they will grow more. So yeah, that's my big peace lily, which was a gift from my niece, so that's special. What else have we got? So I'm just walking you around the house, guys, so I'm just going to turn the light on for this one. This is nicknamed a mini Monstera. It's not a Monstera, but the nickname is a mini Monstera. And I'm not going to attempt to say the Latin name. Just like fish, they have common names and they have scientific names. I will use the common names where I can, because some of the scientific names I'm still learning about. And as you know, I got obsessed with that in the fish world. But this is a mini Monstera. It's quite a nice plant, to be honest with you. But anyway, walking into the other room, I mean, I don't know if anyone's counting. I actually don't know how many plants I've got. There's my Monstera, which I'll show you in a minute. We have got a Philodendron Brazil. So let's get it more into the light. I'm a big fan of this plant, if I'm honest with you. I really like it. And as it grows, I will get it on a moss pole. Philodendrons are a very, very popular plant, from what I can gather. And a little bit like pothos. They're very much the same, and the care needs and stuff are the same. This is my other peace lily. So this was a gift that I bought for Jo. When I started getting into plants, we was in a plant shop and she said, I really like that. So I bought it because she was really like interested in the air purifying and that kind of stuff. Because a lot of plants are good for you. They purify the air, take the toxins out, like I said. Peace lilies do that. And this is her peace lily. So let me just get over to this Monstera. So this Monstera is the first plant that I bought. And you'll have seen it loads of times. I mean, it's come on an absolute treat. This plant, right, has been through hell and back. I've dropped it. The dog has knocked it over. There was actually a couple more leaves that had fenestrations that snapped off. I caught it moving it, the end of that leaf. I got the moss pole when I first got it and just shoved it in the middle. I've had fungus gnats. I'm just on the back end of the fungus gnats. If anyone's interested in how I got rid of my fungus gnats, was I tried the neem oil solutions first. It didn't work. And then did the cinnamon. So basically, if you put cinnamon over the top of the soil, it stops the larvae from growing and getting out. That did work. It reduced them. However, still some were coming through. The main thing is obviously the yellow strips. You get rid of the adults first. And then I did some natural nematoids, I think they call, which basically are the live little tiny worms that you put in your soil, and they eat the larvae and eventually kill off the fungus gnats. But I think fungus gnats probably, and some pest, everybody who keeps plants are going to have to suffer and have at some point, especially in the summer. But this is my Monstera plant. I love it. And when I said about the little Monstera in the fish room, I bought that because I kind of look at this plant. This was my first house plant in soil, if that makes sense. So not in the fish tank, obviously. And I reflect and think, I should have done that. I should have done that. I should have done that. So that is why I bought that Monstera. I want to see if I did everything that I say I should have done. We'll see what happens. But don't get me wrong, this is a healthy plant. It's doing well. It's doing well. Obviously, the way the fenestrations work is they grow to the sun. The fenestrations come so the other leaves, like these underneath, can see the sun and grow with them. They climb the trees in South Africa, in the Amazon rainforest, those kind of things. But Monsteras is a very, very popular houseplant. People Loads of people keep them, and they're a stunning houseplant. And this, as I've had this from being quite small. Anyway, I've been going on about this Monstera because I'm quite passionate about it. Let me show you some other stuff. So we're now going out into the hallway because this is where I quarantine tanks and fish on the brain. This is where I quarantine my plants when I buy them. And the reason I quarantine them is because if they come in from with pests or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll bring them home, give them a good shower, top and bottom of leaf. Check the leaves. I've actually got a magnifying glass. A lot of the pests will be on the underside of the leaves. And then I just quarantine them in this hallway. This is a calathea. Oh, this is another prayer plant. These are quite hard to keep, apparently. It's my first one, so we'll see. And then I've got this bad boy. So let me just turn this light on. This, along with the Thai constellation, was a dream plant for me. So what was amazing was, this was the other plant that Joe bought me. So I was telling my niece about this plant, saying, so this is the tree. You can get the plant or the tree. This is a braided stem with this beautiful umbrella, variegated umbrella, which basically they're in the shape of an umbrella. This is full of new growth. Look at the new growth. It's amazing, this plant. So anyway, she heard me telling my niece, and when we was over there sorting the fish tank out, she went and bought it me. So absolutely made up. I love this plant as much as I love that Thai constellation. Stunning, isn't it? And then we're going to go upstairs for the last plant I have at the moment. Because bathroom plants, guys, some bathrooms... Oh no, it's not the last plant. There's another one in the bedroom. So this is my bathroom. Everyone's getting a proper look in my house. This is like through the keyhole. This is an Alocasia silver dragon. These are special, these plants, guys. I do like these. Look at the pattern on them. These leaves are stunning. I have just ordered 2 more Alocasia, which I'm going to run alongside there with them. They love the humidity of the bathroom. Aren't they stunning? Look at that leaf, guys. Alocasia. If you keep houseplants and you haven't got any of these, get some. But the reason I have them on their own as well is because they are partial to pests, I believe. And then the last one is in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever brought you in my bedroom before. Billy sat on the bed. Is a snake plant. So why is the snake plant in my bedroom? This is the only plant we have in the bedroom. This plant helps with aid sleep, and Joe's a struggler to sleep, so Joe struggles sleeping. This creates oxygen in the air. So another air purifier, another oxygen maker, which apparently helps you to sleep. So I will be adding a couple more snake plants into this room, because if I can help Joe, you know I'm going to do that. Anyway, guys, let's go and wrap this video up. Well, that was something very different. And if you got to the end of this video, I absolutely appreciate your support so much, because I know that plants is not the theme of my channel. And that video could have just broken my channel. But you know what? I really wanted to do it. I wanted to share my other passion that I now have. And I wanted to share a little bit about how me and my brain works and show you some amazing houseplants. But like I said at the start, guys, if you keep houseplants, let me know in the comments which ones you keep. And also, let me know which your favourites are. But anyway, guys, as usual, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that supported me. If you're new because of this video, go and check out my fish-related stuff that's across all the social medias. And I want to say a massive thank you again, and I'll see you all on the next one.